This question and answer session with the pattern trader. My name is Mark Shawzin, the pattern trader. I'll be taking any questions you have. As of today, kind of a quiet session everywhere. Very mixed bag in the FX market, in the stock market, and all around. So it's really become, incumbent upon to do your homework. And, it used to be a rising tide rises all ships. Now you have to be very selective. You have to understand what you're doing. And we've got a big earnings announcement. Tesla is going to announce its earnings after the market today. Tesla's obviously got an enormous weighting in the S&P and the NASDAQ. So it's going to be kind of an important event to see how we do in Tesla. I'm following a small defense stock. The ticker symbol is KTOS. To my mind, it's putting in an interesting basing pattern. And I think KTOS announces earnings in about a week or so. So I'm kind of accumulating a position in KTOS. Hey, Kirby, how you doing? What are you trading these days? I was just saying that it's a very selective environment right now. You have to really be sure of what you're doing. There's a lot of rotation, so the indexes don't necessarily reflect what's going on in the stock market. You really have to, kind of hone in on, special circumstance, ideas. So, Kirby, what are you trading into this week? Are you trading FX, stocks? Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions. I've got one eye peeled on Tesla here. I bought some shares. I don't know that I'm going to hold them through the earnings. Tesla will announce earnings after the session today, so kind of see how we go today. So you're trading DE. Yeah, so that looks strong. So, I think, you've still got some good strength. I'm looking for the stock markets to start petering out probably about a month from now. So we'll see what happens. But Deere does look like, has obviously good term strength here. And, the path of least resistance is higher. MIDD, yeah, it's obviously trading at all-time highs here, so not quite sure what's going on there. So again, full disclosure, I did buy some stock and options in this small little company called Kratos. The ticker symbol is KTOS. I'll just put it in there. It's forming an interesting double bottom price pattern. It's also got a weekly inverted head and shoulders price pattern. I think we announced earnings May 5th through May 10th in KTOS. So I don't know. I'm starting to take a little nibble. I bought the stock and I also bought the $30 calls. Maybe highly speculative at this point, but kind of interesting to see how that plays out. But it's really a difficult environment right now. We used to have such a robust environment. Every day we wake up, stocks were up $10, $15. Every stock was up $10, $15. So, now, things are starting to get a little bit more range bound. We have to kind of hone in on, special circumstances. That's also true for the FX market. Everything's kind of quieting down. The volatility is starting to contract. And, we'll just see how we go here. So you guys got any questions? Kirby, are you the only one on? Seems like there's other people on. Are there any other questions or anything else that you'd like to weigh in on? Tell me what you're trading. See if there are any questions. So Kirby says, I'm trying to buy some Lyft. So Lyft will announce earnings next week. I expect the catalyst for the stock to go higher, that the earnings typically will, send it higher. We've obviously got some tremendous resistance, 65 to 68. I think would keep banging against that ceiling, and I expect earnings should, send this stock higher. Kirby says, what do you think for crude? Crude is also settled into this range between, 57 and 67. It looks like it's, consolidating perhaps for another move higher, but I don't know. I think it's still got more work to do here. So Delina is a Forex trader. Delina, what are you looking at? What are you trading? Are there any questions about any markets that you're looking at? Yeah, so the stock, the FX market's a mixed bag. So, I've said, and I will continue to say, the US dollar is in a long-term downtrend. So you need to buy the Australian dollar versus the US. And all of these other currencies against the US. But, we're stuck in this trading range, in this trading zone in the US dollar. And, I expect that just to be pretty range bound. But I think you have to be opportunistic, and buy the sell off, certainly in the Australian dollar. I do like that currency, probably more than any other currency versus the US dollar. But I think they'll all participate. If the dollar goes down, everything will go higher. Hey, Cyprian, what are you trading? Let me know what you're trading. Let me know if you're any questions. So Dylan says, what about buying New Zealand versus US dollar? So I would be inclined to buy the Aussie versus the US dollar, and then probably the, New Zealand. So I like them both. I think, dollar's going lower. So all of the counter currencies are going to go higher versus the dollar. So, Dylan, I think you can buy New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Keep your stops wide. Be very patient. And so Cyprian says he's long Lyft stocks and, calls. Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. I mean, Lyft is really bouncing around quite a bit today. I think it's going to be volatile ahead of the earnings. And if you can find a really good sell-off, probably buy it into that sell-off. As I was telling folks, I'm buying this little stock KTOS. It's got an interesting kind of double bottom price pattern. I think we're also going into earnings in early May. So Chris says I'm still short Zoom. So Chris, I kind of I got out of my short Zoom. It's been banging, 325 to 335. And now it seems to kind of be, that old resistance is, maybe going to become new support. So I got out of Zoom last week, and, you could still have a short covering rally in Zoom to 360, 380, and the stock will still be in a downtrend. But I'm kind of, scared of a short squeeze in Zoom right now. And you can see we went lower today, and then we creeping right back to 335. So where Zoom used to sell off quite a bit when it got to 335, now it's finding support at this 330 level. So I don't know. I kind of got out of my shorts, and I'm just going to, stand aside for now. So Cyprian says he's long AMD, Cisco, all of the semi stocks. Yeah, so AMD looks like it's ready to, kind of go back into the path of least resistance higher. Cisco, I haven't looked at in a while. It's kind of banging around on old highs. It looks like it's reached this resistance area, 50 to 53, but probably looks like it'll find a way to poke through those levels too. So Cyprian says I'm long Zoom. So yeah, I consider, again, when something doesn't work, so my shorts weren't working. So now I am considering getting on the other side, and I can fully expect to see some kind of short covering rally in Zoom, see that thing go to 350, 360, on upward. So, I should have been paying more attention. There was a weekly reversal whenever Zoom hit, 300 that week. It made a reversal and it closed on the high of the week. And I should have been paying more attention to that. It's just the overall pattern is bearish. So yeah, I think you should be good on the long side, Cyprian, on ZM. Let me just take a look. Yeah, so it's kind of banging up against this glass ceiling, this 335, 340, and you know it's still in this lower highs kind of thing. It's still got this lower high, so you got to be careful here. I have no position, and I wouldn't feel comfortable long. I got out of the shorts, so I'm just kind of on the sidelines with ZM right now. Um, so Stefan says I like AAL, American Airlines. I don't know, of all the airlines, I probably wouldn't buy that one. Yeah, I'm not in love with that one. I would probably buy Love Southwest if I was going to buy an airline. Yeah, so Southwest has got a much better chart, LUV, Stefan. So I don't really love American Airlines. Um, so Cyprian says he has calls on Apple, Facebook, and Twitter. So I think they all announce earnings this week. Tesla will announce at the close today. So I took a lightly long position Tesla. I doubt I'll carry it through the close. See what happens. Facebook, I think, has got very good strength up here. I think of all of them, I really like Facebook. Apple is strong. Twitter, is looking pretty good. Actually, Twitter seems like it's, kind of fading up here. It's in the symmetrical triangle. It's got more of a downward looking. I'm looking at the weekly here. So I definitely like Facebook and Apple. Twitter, not so sure about. Cyprian's also looking at Qualcomm. So that's been a name that's kind of been on my radar. Kind of just, yeah, that looks like it's starting to smell like it's trying to come out of this thing. It's got a nice double bottom, rounding bottom. So certainly if it clears these highs, 140, so we're about $1.50 away from. Yeah, I really like this look of Qualcomm. It's kind of got a double bottom, rounding bottom kind of shape to it, and then a lot of visibility between, where we are now to the old highs around 170. So, I like Qualcomm here a lot. Farron says, I'm looking at Nike puts on weakness. I don't know if I would mess around with that. It does look like it's kind of got this reverse ascending wedge look. Got some strong support at 125. Yeah, I could see it. It may be tough. I don't know if I would feel so warm and fuzzy in Nike puts, but maybe. It seems like it's hit some resistance. We could come out of here, but it's, if you don't take your profits quickly, it could go right back into the trend. Kirby says, what about Amazon? Yeah, so this is, full around at all-time highs. I don't think you could fade Amazon, and I think long-term, this one's a keeper. It's going to, go up over time. So yeah, Cyprian, I like that. I like, Qualcomm at just about everything. Facebook I like. Yeah, this Qualcomm looks like it just, kind of found a support right along this, ascending trend line. So a lot of these NASDAQ stocks, have been just finding support along this trend line. I like this Qualcomm very much. Very much. Yeah, that thing looks like a winner. It looks like there's a lot of open air to run from here to 170. So I like that a lot. I'm going to check out the calls when we get off this. In fact, I'm going to check them out right now. So Qualcomm, check out this options. So the one, where are we trading? Around 138. Still a little rich for my blood. I like to buy options real cheap. Because to my mind, if you're going to buy options, you need to make 3 to 5 times your money. So I'm looking at the, say the 142 calls are trading at $2 right now for the end of the week. So then, if I'm looking to make $6, I need to see Qualcomm, at 148 by next week. You know, it could happen, but yeah, I think I'll probably just buy the stock. That looks really interesting. I like the look of that. So Ben says AMD is at a head and shoulders top. I think we just looked at AMD. I wouldn't think so. Maybe I think maybe you meant in the prior time frame. Yes, it was a head and shoulders top, but now it looks like, and you did roll out of that head and shoulders top, Ben, but now you kind of caught a bid. The long-term trajectory is higher. So actually, I think the governing pattern now is that double bottom at around 73. So now it looks like it's going to bust the implications of that head and shoulders top. And to me, the path of least resistance in AMD is higher. YNDX. Yeah, this thing looks like it's also got a lot of support at $60. You had that double top head and shoulders looking thing, but this is where, trading and patterns can get a little funky because the market throws you a lot of patterns and they look sure as all can be. You can see all the way, in 2014, there was a double top pattern in YNDX, but these all look like false patterns. The path of least resistance seems like this thing's going to, go higher. It's just that it's a very ranging stock, and I think, you need to be patient. I like things to get in them, and they get and go. I'd rather, I think Qualcomm looks the same as this, and so I'd rather pick Qualcomm. But I think this feels like a bottom in YNDX, and I think it goes higher from here. So you got to be careful of some of these patterns. Sometimes they look like something, but if the market doesn't follow through based on the implications of the pattern, then you need to watch out for the other side. Let's see, Paycom, PAYC. Paycom Software also looks like, it's found some support at that 350 and now wants to break higher. There's obviously this, resistance at 420. So I do feel like it's forming a base to now go higher. PAYC, Cyprian. So path of least resistance in the stock market for now seems to be higher. I think probably in a month from now, we start looking at a major top. CWH break into some long-term highs. CWH. Yeah. Nice looking chart too. Yeah, you can't fight with that. So this looks like WRK. It's kind of got this, inverted head and shoulders, double bottom, and it's just breaking out of this huge consolidation. So this is a great looking chart, CWH. Completely agree with you, Scott. WRK, is doing the work to break out of this thing. It needs to just break above 54, and then I think WRK is going to look like CWH. CWH is kind of a little bit ahead of where WRK is, but I think they're the same looking charts. So I like that a lot, Scott. EOG, good looking long term stock. Um, yeah, this does look like a long term. You probably get into a very protracted trading range here. Um, so with some patience, if that offers a good dividend yield, maybe something to camp out in. Again, I just, my temperament is I try and find things that are going to go. But, this looks a lot like Lyft did before Lyft took off. So when I bought Lyft at 46, it looked just like EOG looks like right now. I'm not quite sure that, it's going to have the same kind of implications, but yeah, I don't think you could go wrong just sitting in EOG. Cyprian, that double bottom at 30 looks amazing. And now you're just putting on this right consolidation. So yeah, if it can get above 80, I'm going to check that out. I don't know if there's a dividend yield on that. Let me just, because that may just pay you to sit in there. Normally, I don't like just sitting in something that's not going to move for a while. But if it pays you to sit in there, then maybe that's a good way to go. So it's got a dividend yield of 2.35%. So not bad. So you do get paid just to stick around there. But yeah, I like the look of that. Make 2% and then goes higher. Probably make 15% on your money overall. So that's a good thing. So Balsh, how is QuantumScape? So I'm looking at QuantumScape to re-enter. I made a fortune on these things on the downside. You did have a weekly reversal last week. So maybe it has to retest the breakout area around $40. But I'm looking to reload on that. So yeah, it broke out of this, descending wedge, and now it's kind of curling back up. Let's see what happens. Again, to my mind, you don't have to get ahead of the market. The market will tell you. So I'm looking for it to get back to, 41 and then look like it may stall out there. And if it's so, then I'll get short. If not, it's just something to put back on the radar. I am watching it, but I'm not really doing anything right now. Kirby says looking at AN, not long, but maybe on a pullback. Yeah, this is breaking out also. So I think, this is a market where you got to buy all of these very unsexy, unloved, kind of stocks. Auto Nation, Campers World, and I think you're getting rotation out of growth and tech into these value momentum stocks. And so, yeah, obviously the path of least resistance is much higher in AN. That's a very good looking chart. So Cyprian's got long position on Match MTCH. Yeah, it seems like this is banging around in a heavy consolidation, maybe poised to go higher. Yeah, I think it's got a lot of support at that 137. And so to me, I don't think it's going to go lower. The question is, is it going to go higher or is it just going to, fart around here? Not quite sure. what that looks like. So, I think I shared on the opening, I'm kind of watching this stock, KTOS. It formed an inverted head and shoulders on the weekly that I saw many weeks ago, ran from 20 to 35, then kind of came off, formed this double bottom at around the $25 area. Now it's in this heavy consolidation. But I think next week or the week after, it announces earnings. So I bought the stock and I bought the calls today. And I'm going to see how it acts in here. I may have been a touch jumpy or early, but it just feels like it's, I don't know. I want to see if we can come out of this consolidation, and maybe the earnings call. The options give me a lot of time to look at it. I think they expire May 21st, so I've got a month to sit in this thing, which will let me go through the earnings, and we'll see what it looks like. I also lightly bought some Tesla today on the retrenchment. So Tesla went to 749, went back to 735, and I bought it there, just thinking that we would have at least some intraday support. We've got an earnings announcement in Tesla after the close, so I'll see how it closes to determine if I want to stay long. But the path of least resistance seems higher right now in Tesla, and so I think the earnings, it's going to be huge volatility. So I'm not sure if I'm going to want to stay in there, but I may just hold a light position. I'm going to see how we close. I'm going to see if I close with some profits here. But, it looks like Tesla grabbed a strong bid right at the 700 level. 720 was that, resistance. We broke out of the 720, went to 780, went back to 720, and now we found support. So I think, you may get, liftoff in Tesla from this level. So Cyprian, I looked at Paycom, PAYC, and the path of least resistance in that is, clearly higher. This thing's, looking like it's going to go and make new highs. So, yeah, I think, I'm looking at the weekly. Again, it looks like it's hugging this uptrend line, and it looks like it's going to go back and retest those highs. So I think all of these payment processors like Square, PayPal, Square I think is more linked to Bitcoin, and because of Bitcoin's volatility, it came off. So I really also like PayPal, PYPL. I think that company is extremely well positioned for the future, and of all the processors, it's probably the way to go. And PayPal looks like it's also doing a double bottom, rounding bottom type of thing. It goes through 275. It looks like it's got free air to 310 again. So PayPal, to my mind, also looks really good. AO. Not quite sure if you gave me the right symbol. Look for you. I'm not sure what you're indicating there. Yeah, so Cyprian, I like the whole look of PayPal. It's also hugging this uptrend line. Found a double bottom at that 220. Now is doing a rounding bottom. This neckline at 275 looks like it's about to get taken out. And PayPal looks like that's the one to own. Stavros says, do you think the yen pairs will gain strength? Still on the fence about that, Stavros. They are at really key inflection points, particularly dollar yen. Dollar yen's gained a little strength, this week. I expect it to. It came off straight from 111 down to 107. So now it's going to be interesting to see what dollar yen, I'm sure it'll dig in at this level. Euro yen, the path of least resistance in euro yen does seem higher. And pound yen following behind. It's got a lot of resistance here. So the yen pairs are really at an inflection point and look like they could go stronger. Yes. I still want to, put on a little bit more time on these yen pairs just to see, because they're right at these historic inflection points. And you could still get a bit of a fake out where, euro yen could poke its nose a little higher and still fail. So I'm kind of just still on the fence with these yen pairs. Yeah, we may not have to wait till next month, but yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. Whenever, I'm ambivalent about certain things, I've learned, not to try and trade through it. Because what happens is, you're long and the market goes down. Now you see also a case for it to go lower. So now you get panicked and you get out. Then it goes up and then you can make a case for the upside. Now you get long and then you get through that whole, so, I've just learned that I'd rather just miss a piece of a move and be more sure about what's going on. So, I still think that dollar yen maybe is setting up for a huge move lower. Coinbase, Bolshevik, I don't know, man. I would sell that thing. Look, I think it was screwed from the opening price. So the opening price was around 430, and last week we were almost half of that at 280. So I think Coinbase was screwed right before it started. At least the investors were screwed. The insiders made just a ton of money. So I would leave that alone. Sabrina says, what about pound dollar? So I do expect the dollar to go weaker, but the pound is probably the weaker one. So I think that pound US dollar does go higher only because I think the dollar goes lower. It's in this long-term 136 to 142 kind of consolidation. I would look to buy strong dips in anything against the dollar. And, I'm probably most favorable Australian versus US dollar. So of all of the currencies, I would buy Aussie US. So yeah, I like Australian dollar versus US dollar of all of the pairs versus the US dollar. Now that could change. You could find some rotation. It could switch off. But that's what I would do. Yeah, so it's just it's a highly selective trading market right now, and you got to look at kind of a longer term plan. You got to see where the risk reward is. I would take smaller positions, wider stops to accommodate the volatility in what's going on right now, and yeah. So right now I'm long KTOS. I'm long Tesla. I'm watching with one eye what this QuantumScape does. I'm not going to get in front of it. So there's no reason if something's going higher just because you think it's going lower to anticipate that. Let the market tell you. Let the market, do a key reversal. Let it go to 41 and close at 39. Let it show you that there's an area of resistance. So, I'm looking at that. Zoom, I don't know what the hell this thing wants to do, and that's the thing. Every few minutes I can make a case for it going lower and also make it going higher. So But also Zoom on the weekly looks like it put in, and that's why sometimes you have to look at, longer term things. So the weekly, is starting to look like this whole basing thing where you could, get a short covering move back to 380. But there's also a case of these, lower highs. So this is one of those things where every few minutes you can make a case for it going up, make a case for it going down. Frankly, I wouldn't short it here. So if I wouldn't short it, if something's not going to go down, it's probably going to go higher. I may just buy it just for the hell of it. So, so we have looks like an inside bar today. So we have, last Friday was an inside bar where the ranges are, all within last Thursday's range. So typically when I see these inside bars, they're coiling, they're gathering energy. And to me, the energy looks like it's going to pop to the upside. So, where I was short Zoom, now it's, it looks like there's could be a huge short covering rally. Cyprian, I talked about crude. I think it's just in a trading range, kind of would leave that alone right now. So I can't get that symbol. Look for you. I can't find it on my trading platform. So I'm sorry, I can't offer you any insight there. So Tesla's starting to make up, getting some energy to go back to the daily highs here. So that, that's going to be the bucking bronco for the day, I suspect. And, Tesla's also a case of what doesn't go down goes up. So you had these two key reversal bars. So it broke out about 2 weeks ago, went to 780 and then closed right at the low of the day, around 720, a major key reversal. Then you went sideways. Then you went yet another reversal where you went, I don't know what the high was, about 750 and closed at 720. And now Thursday, you couldn't go lower. And then, Friday, you couldn't go lower. And today, you can't go lower. So, what looked like a double top key reversal, if the market can't, go lower out of that, it's just going to go higher. And we've been forming this symmetrical triangle on the daily here. And I think we're slightly breaking out the high side of it. Now, it could be just a fake out to the upside, but let me just see. Yeah, today's high is right on the high. So we have the symmetrical triangle. And I think you got to buy Tesla. I think you got to buy it. Obviously, hugely risky. I am long that stock right now. I'll see how it closes, but I think I got to stay long. If I have some good profits in it, then I'll. But this thing could, open $100 lower. It could do anything. All right, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for checking in. Let's all watch what Tesla does after the close. I think that's going to be a huge proxy. These yen pairs, I think are going to offer a huge trading opportunity one way or another when they break out of this consolidation. And we'll just keep an eye on things. So I want to, wish you guys a healthy and prosperous trading day. And I'll try and check in with you tomorrow. Although tomorrow I've got some things scheduled. So let me just check out my schedule here. Maybe I'll do it. I'll either do it an hour earlier or an hour later than the 11 a.m. Typical time. I've got some appointments tomorrow that I need to make. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you.